Hello friends, Tim Kirby Russia, beach edition, but the topic is pretty serious. There have been a lot of rumors spreading around the whole, let's just say, term of Zelensky running out. If you remember, he actually suspended elections during the war, and his term as president is running up. So a lot of people are speculating that that's going to have some sort of like major impact on the war. Russia's going to do something big. In fact, the main thing that people are talking about is basically that the day after Zelensky leaves office, which is a few days after this video is posted, that the Russians are going to take him out. They're going to shoot him with a rocket or something, or try to bunker blast him or whatever. And guys, that sounds sort of interesting. And in a lot of ways, President Putin is a fan of doing things in this sort of legalistic manner and doing things in a legal way with the right sort of logical formulation. That's very much in line with his personality. What isn't in line with President Putin's personality is doing things that are sort of brash and exotic and could yield really unpredictable results. I think the best way to describe Putin is if he went into a casino, he would play blackjack. Whether he liked it or hated it, he'd play blackjack because it's the game with the best odds. That's kind of how he thinks, you know? So I really don't think that Putin would do something so chaotic as to open the door to then the West doing some sort of crazy rocket-based assassination attempts on their own. I just don't see that happening. It just doesn't make sense to me. Now, something that could happen is, I wouldn't be surprised, because remember, since everyone in the Ukrainian system of power speaks Russian at a native level or a very high level, or they just understand it because they speak Ukrainian, that means that communication, especially, let's just say, trying to convert people into spies or double agents, has probably been going on since during the Maidan, maybe before the Maidan, after the Maidan, and during this war for sure. So one thing that I wouldn't be surprised might be happening behind the scenes is that the Russian side might have been telling people, hey, look, you guy, important guy, you know, if you rise up and try to, you know, take over after the term limit's over, well, that'll be kind of legal because there'll be no legitimate power. And if you do that, you know, we might back you. And they might have said that to 10, 20 important people. You see what I mean? There might be some sort of gamesmanship going behind the scenes to make something maybe happen more naturally. As you've heard a lot of experts talk about related to Ukraine, that eventually, especially without full financing from Washington, the Kiev regime will collapse because there's no more economy. The GDP has gone minus 33+% every year since the war started. That really this regime, as people like to call it, simply just can't last. So what's going to happen in the next few days when Zelensky's term is up? They're going to really put that to the test. And I wouldn't be surprised then if, let's just say, something in his life changes in a drastic way, but in a very sort of from the inside, from around him. The Praetorian Guard is going to take out the littlest emperor of Rome, something sort of that nature. So yeah, in fact, Zelensky recently canceled a trip, I believe it was to Portugal. I could be wrong about that, or Spain. But anyways, so far he hasn't really canceled any attempt to go beg for money and supplies and this, that, and the other. So maybe even some of the people who are loyal with him to the bitter end have just told him about some plots that could be happening against him. Because when he's out of office again, the threat doesn't come from Putin or from some sort of well-placed rocket. So it's not the Ministry of Defense of Russia or Putin himself that I think is going to change things. It's just going to be the fact that this sort of situation opens the door for really anything to happen in Ukraine. And if there's no legitimate leader, guess what? It's going to be human nature for all sorts of people for various reasons, maybe some of them morally good reasons, maybe some of them selfish reasons or egotistical reasons, are going to jump into that vacuum of power, friends. They're going to leap right into that black hole of power that needs to be filled by someone. So yeah, so we'll see. Another question might be also the day after Zelensky is no longer officially the president, getting away from conspiracies revolving his future, will the generals listen to him? Will anyone listen to him? Because before that date, there is this sort of legalistic obligation where, yes, the president of most countries is also the, commander-in-chief of the armed forces. That is the case in many nations, including the United States. But what if the president is considered illegitimate and there is no president? Then who's the leader of the armed forces? Interesting. So I think that it's going to be more the effect of this strange decision of Zelensky to not even just try to put together sham elections is going to probably come back to bite him in the butt, but it's going to happen more in a more natural, internal sort of way rather than in a evil Kremlin plot sort of way. So anyways, Tim Kirby Russia signing out.